Howdy, partakers. Oh, J-Man here with Weed and Whiskey News. I'm so excited that I've got two good friends, guests, and colleagues in the studio today. Studio down here in Austin. The folks from the Texas Hemp Reporter, because we're going to be coming to you from Austin here very soon with a bunch of new content. We'll be still shooting in Dallas, but we got Russell Dowden, we got Rachel Nelson, Texas Hemp Reporter. Welcome to the show, guys.
Howdy, 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 folks. Welcome to Weed and Whiskey News. I'm your host, J-Man. I got a bunch of stocks, hot stocks, regular stocks. They've been all suffering.
But in fact, it was them making marijuana illegal that created the crime.
You smoke a little pot every now and then?
When I am in a legal state.
Pothead, he's also a co-star in there. You'll see him all the time, every time.
And not everybody has orange Cheeto dust on their fingers because they use cannabis, right?
I am not from this world, but this guitar is. You will be able to win this guitar for Christmas.
Texas lawmakers are in session this year to improve or alter laws on cannabis and hemp products. So stay tuned this legislative season with the Texas Hemp Show, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on ESPN 102.7. Or download the Texas Hemp Show wherever podcasts are available. The Texas Hemp Show is the official podcast for the Texas Hemp Reporter magazine. The Texas Hemp Show is sponsored by CBD Pros, your cannabis experts. That's the Texas Hemp Show, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on ESPN Austin.
This man has a buzz for himself and for 4 of his friends. He also has a 5 left out of a 10. 5 gummies, $5. That's Buck-a-Buzz. Ask for him at a store near you. Buck-a-Buzz. Visit buckabuzz.com.
Howdy, partakers. J-Man here, down in Austin, Texas. Just check it out. We got the Capitol building right behind us. That ain't a backdrop that's on the green screen, folks. That's the real McCoy. I got my great friends, Russell Dowden and Rachel, who I don't know her last name because she's like Sherry Madonna. She's just going to have one name. She's just Rachel today, okay? From the Texas Hemp Reporter, and we're excited to share with you. We've got a collaboration going on with these great folks where they're going to be bringing weed and whiskey news to you guys down here in Austin. They're going to be bringing Texas Hemp Reporter to people up in Dallas. We're going to blow this whole thing up. Russell, tell us what you got going on.
Well, I'm just excited to be a part of this new studio here you got in downtown Austin. It's a great background. We're excited to have the new channel that you've given us there at Weed and Whiskey TV. The content for the Texas Hemp Show has been now uploaded onto Weed and Whiskey TV. So this is an exciting partnership. We're looking forward to working with you.
Before we get into that, let's learn a little bit about Rachel. Tell us about yourself, Rachel.
Well, I have a background in journalism, and I've been working with Russell for, I think it's been 2 years now since I first started writing, and we actually know each other from another life. 15 years ago, I think we met in San Marcos when he was doing Weird magazine. So,
and she was a journalist major, and
they had journalism in elementary school. You said 15 years ago. Come on now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, so we had met, and then we've been in touch on Facebook, but it's been a long time since we've, collaborated. And then I saw his magazine. I was just looking at stories one day and saw the Texas Hemp Reporter. So of course I sent him a message asking, do you need writers? And then I've got to do a lot of fun stuff, about.
And no stranger to partaking.
Yeah, right.
That's one thing about the plant. The plant really does bring a lot of people from a lot of walks of life together. It's really been an interesting thing for me, for Texas Monthly did a little write-up about me when I was down at Willie's a few years back, and I said for 44 years I've been using cannabis. For 42 of them, I didn't want anybody to know. But once I became vocal about it, I met a whole new tribe of people. Got a fledgling TV network, and having the most fun I've ever had in my life, all because I became open about my cannabis use. And I'm a guy that believes that medical marijuana should be available to sick people for free or insurance reimbursed. And not everybody that smokes weed all day long's got Cheeto dust on their fingers. You know, it's kind of like my little statement and everything. And it looks like you are the same tribe. Well, you are. Russell, he'll dabble maybe with a gummy, folks. We're going to be talking about Bucka Buzz.
Hold on, let me jump in here on that, because for probably 35 years, I smoked cannabis and was an advocate of this plant for many years. But as I've gotten older, that the quality of the plant has improved, J-Man. And so my quality has gone down as the cannabis quality has gone up. And so, for 35 years, at least 32 years or so, I smoked cannabis, and I've always been an advocate for this plant. So it's very funny that you say you hid the fact that you were using the plant and kept it secret. I was very bodacious and out, let people know I didn't have a problem with it. And now I'm publishing a cannabis magazine, and I can't keep up with the cannabis. So it's kind of opposite of your story in some ways. I've reduced the amount of my smoking that I've partaken in over the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
These craft cultivators of very connoisseur levels of cannabis for the people that enjoy smoking the flower, which is not the market in today's time. Edibles, tinctures, topicals. This is the big growth area in the cannabis space. But your thing, Russell, is the Texas Hemp Reporter. And hemp, folks, it's so much more. Here, I don't have a teleprompter today, so I can take off my glasses and be 2 grams the whole show.
Give us your 2 grams.
Yeah, I give you 2 grams times 4 grams. Okay. So just recently I met Morris Beagle. He's very involved in the industrial hemp movement, and there's so many things that can be made from the hemp. So you got hemp, marijuana, cannabis. I got all these different names for this. I think it's a beautiful plant. I think it smells real good too. Some people, I don't like that smell. I always believe that the universe made that smell for the plant. That way other partakers and no medicine time was coming up. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's time to go get some medicine. Most of the people will share. Here, take a little puff. We'll share, There's a bond that gets formed with that. So
either that or there's a dead skunk.
Well, that could be that too. That's
which suddenly smells good to you after you're introduced to cannabis.
But Jay, I remember growing up smoking, Mexican Reggie, Mexican cannabis, and this was, not as strong and as potent as the new stuff that's out there. And so as I've gotten older, I've had to kind of step back from some of the higher quality of it, and that's really all that it is. I still will partake in some of the Delta 8 products, like you said, but I was one of those guys that grew up on Mexican Reggie.
Well, a little older than you, Russell, but we called it Mexican dirt weed. Okay, and every once in a while there would be something called Colombian Gold or Panama Red Bud, and it was almost like a mythical thing,
Oh yeah.
Oh, so and so had some, and here's the little roach of it,
Yeah. Oh, $60 a gram. We called it Kind Bud. That was what KB. That's what we called it back in the day. And I found that moving out of my hometown in the Panhandle, everybody kind of, depending on their area, had like a different name that they called like the good stuff.
The good stuff, I always remember people saying,
and now it's all good stuff.
Is that guy cool? Is he cool? That was always an indicator.
Oh, right.
It was in the mid '90s, and
I shared
I shared with somebody. We were talking about something. Oh yeah, my birthday's next Tuesday, and which happened to be the 20th. This was years back, and they said, "Oh, 420." And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because again, I was a smoker, but I'm busted. Somebody saw me smoking out in my car or something, Well, that's what 420 means. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I had no idea. And I've been using cannabis for 20 plus years at that time, about probably 25 years. And so now every time I turn around, hey, my birthday's 420. My birthday's 420. You must get high.
Well, see that you were destined to do Reading Whiskey TV.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Yeah. And folks, if you'd like to know more about that and me, get you a Texas Hemp Reporter. I got a feature in the middle of that thing, man. This is a great publication. The editorial content. There's a lot of people that's got cannabis magazines out there, folks. I've looked at them, and most of them are just ad after ad after ad. And there's nothing wrong with ads. Ads are what allows things like us, the Texas Hemp Reporter, Weed and Whiskey News, to bring you this content, okay? But don't you want to have a little stuff to read and get educated and know about something? Look at that. Thank you.
Now look at that handsome young man right there.
and I couldn't ask for more fitting on my 63rd birthday. That guy down in the corner, Lucas Nelson, was
That's
playing
right.
at Billy Bob's. My friends took me over for my birthday at Billy Bob's for a Lucas Nelson concert. So thank you for how all this stuff manifested. And it was down here in Austin. Folks, I'm so excited that we've got a studio down here now in Austin because my wife and I got married in Spicewood, about 2 miles as the crow flies from Luck, which is Willie's backyard. It's his imaginary town that weed and whiskey actually manifested in. And we'll be bringing you more about that. But I want to talk more about Texas Hemp Reporter. Russell, tell us a little bit about the new car. What's it called? We got our logo on the front of it, folks. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, we have a vehicle that we wrapped during the holidays. It's the Texas Green Machine.
The Green Machine. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue.
There's a copy of it, and Rachel or myself and my producer Carl and I will go out and do a report like we did with a few months ago with the hemp activity here at the legislative session. But we just did a 420 event the other day on your birthday at one of our clients where we came out and had the tent and the car and the siren, and it's just a way of activating our brand, but also going out and providing marketing services. But it's a great business card for our brand, and you know, it says honk for legal cannabis.
Well, there you go.
And we get people honking all the time at us, right?
And it's funny because when you're not used to it, you're like, why are these people honking at us? That really happened to me when I was in the car one day. I'm like, what's up with them? Why are they honking? And we got down the road and my brother's like, duh, Rachel, they're honking because the car. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're not driving wrong.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, really, is what it is.
Russell, tell us what a remote looks like when the Texas Hemp Reporter goes out to a location, because I know that's something that you do for brands that are wanting to get exposure. What does that look like? Tell us what that consists of.
I can give you an image of what one of those looks like, and you know, we can have that on screen. But it's got our tent like you have at an event, or if we were out at a trade show. But what we did last time on the 420 event we just recently had is we parked the car right next to the tent. The artwork matches up. It's beautiful. But we come out there and we'll do a show, kind of like we're doing here with you. And we'll set up and put our mics and cameras out there and interview the owner of the business of the CBD store that we may be at.
Right.
We'll talk to their staff. And I thought it was a really educational experience learning about. You always learn about that retailer, Rachel. Wasn't that a fun opportunity to talk to J Hart CBD when we were there? I thought that was getting our brand out there, educating the public about these store owners. You got to understand, Jay, is that the store owners educate our fellow Texans the most. If it's not for the store owner and their employees, they're the ones that really are, you know, telling the public about these wonderful products that we have here in Texas.
Sure. And you know, that's an important thing. I think you would both agree that person in that store has a lot of power of helping somebody heal, having somebody have a good time, depending on what their needs are, because we all have different needs and uses for this plant. And I'm always excited when I go into one and the person seems he's friendly or she's friendly and they're educated. Occasionally, and I won't mention any names, you go into one, they got, a million SKUs in there, and you're trying to figure out what you're needing and wanting. And that's a big part of what makes that experience, makes you want to come back. Would you agree? Well,
you know, what I thought was cool, Rachel, about that event that we were at on April 20th in North Austin was that both or two or three of her staff, of the owner's staff, they discussed how they have a recreational side. One location had more recreational customers. The other location in Cedar Park had more medicinal customers. And so it was interesting that, you know, they addressed both, you know, the recreational fun side of the plant, as well as the medicinal side, that it helped with the older clientele that they had at their Cedar Park location. So two sides definitely to the plant, but those are fun events when we go out and do those, Jay, and when we go out, and we've only done that once or twice now.
Yeah.
But
one of the things, folks, that we'd like to have happen with the Texas Hemp Reporter and his remote things that he does with Carl and his team and Rachel is maybe going to some places like the gummy manufacturers or the packing people. You know, one of those how it's made kind of things. You know, I think people would really dig those kind of shows. I know I do. I love watching those things. I learned a lot about a thing. I'm not going to eat that anymore because I saw the way they made that. But it is something that affects our body, and the more that we can learn about how they're made and what good practices are, what all this stuff on these labels mean, and going to these QR codes and really educating yourself about what you're ingesting is so important for people that are new to this. You know, I'm an old school guy, and edibles, they rarely work on me. But when I did discover, because I smoke a lot of flower, folks, this is crazy, okay? I save money by doing one of these low-cost gummies because I don't smoke as many joints. Now, my mama go get on to me because I'm going to say, well, Austin's normally a 4-joint ride, but I only smoke 2 joints down here from Dallas because I took a buck of buzz. She's like, how you doing that stuff? I don't understand. Well, mama, it's because I've been doing it and I got a high tolerance level. And so it doesn't affect me like it does some people. You take somebody that doesn't do one of these, like my lovely wife, she took one of these the other night. Boom, she was out just like that. And she woke up and she goes, you know what? It's way different than drinking, you know. Now, there's nothing wrong with drinking. We got whiskey on our thing. Whiskey is a medicine. You know, most people don't realize at the turn of the century, you went to a pharmacy, not a liquor store, to get alcohol because it was prescribed as a medicine. And so it became illegal. It became bad when they made it illegal, you know, in the prohibition, just like cannabis. Robert Head said that on one of my episodes that, the problems became when they made it illegal. When we was legal, nobody was getting in trouble for it, right? Government asked us to grow it, you know. And that's what's great about the Texas Hemp Reporter. It brings you stories about these kind of things. There's doctors that you guys interview. Tell us a little bit more about, Rachel, how you'll go about getting the people to feature in the magazine.
Well, you know, mostly I've done a lot of business reviews, which is really cool to hear everybody's story because every business owner that I talk to has a reason that they went into this industry. And it's usually because of like a personal problem they had. Like I've had several people tell me it helped their pets and that's what turned them onto it. Or, you know, maybe they had a sports injury and it helped them. Or, you know, someone in their family had an illness or had PTSD as a veteran. And so it's just interesting to hear everybody's stories. But I also covered just things that we think are kind of cool in the industry. You know, if we find, you know, a new product or somebody, we've done, you know, a girl that has Kush cards that makes greeting cards that you can give to your stoner friends, and you know, just different
history of 420. You talked about 420. She's done a couple of pieces on
just culture pieces are always really fun.
I think you got a young scientist. We had him up in Dallas not too long ago. He's from Texas A&M. Clayton Moore, or Clay Moore, he likes to go by Clay. He is a contributor, I think, right? This young gentleman, he's 20 years old, and he's like, he doesn't have the pocket protector with the pins, but he sure ought to. I mean, he's way above J-Man's head, but he's involved in the genetics and all other things that they're looking at how the plant can provide great things agriculturally for us as a country, and especially as Texas as a state. So,
well, J-Man, what would you like to see us do here with this this new Austin show is really cool because I could throw ideas. Like, it would be cool to go out and see, like you said, take the camera out and visit a whiskey distillery around town.
Absolutely.
Let's go talk to some whiskey guys for the network. Let's maybe see how these gummies are made with our friends over at Sweet Sensei or any other manufacturer that we know, people that we know in this space here
and you know,
in Austin.
Consumption lounges are starting to become a fairly popular thing. I think more here in Austin than there are in Dallas. So what a great place. It's both a bar and a consumption place. I was down at the 8th Wonder Distillery and the 8th Wonder Brewery in Houston last week when I met Woody Harrelson on Tuesday. We went down to Houston to meet with the Bayou City Hemp folks, and they have a vending machine in the brewery that has Delta 9 products, got pre-rolls, things like that. And then over at the distillery, they had a nice little counter in there, and they got a big outdoor place. So yeah, people come over and enjoy and watch concert and everything like that. So we're seeing Austin's always been way more progressive than Dallas, folks. And so it would be exciting to see how some of those things are going on. There are a lot of people put events on like that. So maybe we can go out and get some media coverage for those folks and bring great content to our viewers.
Well, didn't Hemp Housewife do a report I saw recently on Weed and Whiskey TV that she went to a distillery in Dallas and
a brewery, Martin House Brewery.
Yeah, Martin
and
House.
They're working with Power Bio Farms to take the Sour Power, I think is what it's called.
They made a beer.
Made a beer. Well, the people down there at 8th Wonder, cannabis drinks are huge now, as we've seen. So when we say whiskey, let's just think of it as being spirits. If you're an alcohol brand, you'd like to have some exposure. Selfless plug there, folks. We bring you this great content because of our great advertisers. So you don't just have to be whiskey, okay? We'd love to talk to you and see how we can help you blow up your brand. Russell, I think we've got a lot of ideas, a lot of great things in store down here. Today, folks, what we really wanted to bring you was the real. I'm a straight talker and a plain shooter. No, I got that wrong, didn't I? Maybe I had a buck of buzz. I'm a plain talker and a straight shooter, and I like having real people engaged with what I'm doing, and I think they're the same way. They want to be with real people. We're not a bunch of paid actor talking heads reading off a script that somebody else wants us to do. We're very opinionated about what we do, and that's what you'll find here with this. So what we're planning on down here in Austin is weekly when we have our Weed and Whiskey news show. It'll be both some stuff from Dallas and now from Austin. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break for a second, and we'll be right back. Howdy, partakers. Old J-Man here, your plain talking, straight shooting friend. Got you a little info on something called Cali Sober. This right here, I'm reading right off the label, says non-alcoholic, hangover-free, totally legal beverage that gets you a little buzz. You want to learn more about this? Go to visit, okay, that means www.getcalisober.com. Check that out. J-Man's telling you about it. First heard it here. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for watching us today. My good friends from the Texas Hemp Reporter, Rachel Nelson, Russell Dowden. Give us some parting words, Rachel.
Well, pick up the Texas Hemp Reporter if you're in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. We have a lot of great content coming out every couple months, so check us out.
Russell?
Well, just excited to be a part of the new Austin studio here with Weed and Whiskey TV, and thank you, J-Man, for having us down here and giving us this opportunity and this platform. Look forward to working with you more on other projects, and we'd be happy to get you some reports, either Rachel or myself, here in Central Texas. Being from here, this is going to be a great opportunity, so thanks for having us on. It's been fun.
Well, folks, thank you for being here. And partakers, thank you. We're over 142,000 people that have signed up in less than a year, and about 85,000 of you guys engage with us on a weekly basis. So let me again say that. Thank you. From old J-Man here, we want to bring you good news and make it entertaining and fun, and we think that you like what we've got going on now. Just wait till you see what we've got coming up. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Weed and Whiskey News. News with a twist.